There are more genetic tests available than ever before. You can access them in a healthcare setting, but also via online direct-to-consumer testing. Because genetic testing itself has gone mainstream, even if you're not individually having any level of testing, you might be biologically related to somebody who is, and so the questions that they are having answered could be very relevant to you. Often people don't know they're going to have an emotional reaction about the testing results until they have that reaction, and it's really hard to anticipate before testing. And so genetic counsellors are needed on a massive scale now. Testing itself is snowballing, and so is the urgency and need for genetic counselling to accompany that. Genetic counselling is not just information giving about genetics. Really, any health professional can do that sensitively. You walk for a moment in somebody else's shoes and you get to experience through their eyes what the genetic information means for them, so that you can then help them to make decisions that are meaningful for them about their lives and their children and their family. As a research genetic counsellor, I'm very interested in exploring the evidence base that underpins the Therapeutic Alliance. How is it we can have meaningful conversations with people about genetics? The whole point of all of this research is to understand and ultimately improve and feed back communication processes into health services, and also feed those into policy. One of the focuses of genetic counselling is often to explore whether having a genetic test is appropriate or not. And part of the value of what genetic counselling is that it gives people space and scope to think around whether that's right at this moment in time. And I very vividly remember a patient that I saw many years ago. It was a man whose sister had recently died of ovarian cancer, and he felt the real urgency and panic actually about being tested himself for one of the cancer predisposing genes, because he had 2 daughters and he was very, very anxious about their own health. But he hadn't told them he was going for testing. And so the genetic counselling focused on helping him to come to terms with his sister's death, but also helping him process the panic and urgency that he was feeling about testing. And actually at the end of the first session, having walked in the beginning saying he demanded a test urgently, and immediately that day at the end of the first session he walked away and said, do you know what, I don't need to have it quite now, and I'm going to pace this a little and go and talk to my girls first. So I think that was a really positive outcome of this chance to sort of breathe, think through, be with him and say, look, you can have testing any time, but let's make sure the testing is right for you at the right moment. I have really strong memories of these heart-wrenching clinical consultations that I used to have when I was in clinical practice, and they really stay with me and they guide the sort of research that I do now about genetic counselling.